A couple of days ago, we got the announcement that the next Community Day is going to be featuring the Pokemon Poliwag. And of course, Poliwag has two final evolved forms, Poliwrath and Politoed. In this video, I wanted to talk about Poliwrath because I think after this Community Day, it's going to be a lot more relevant in terms of Pokemon Go's gameplay. That's what this video is going to be all about, so let's roll the intro and get right into it. Yo, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon Go video. Okay, so in light of recent announcements for Community Day, I wanted to highlight a particular Pokemon that has kind of been hiding in the shadows for the last several years. I'm of course talking about Poliwrath. This Kanto Pokemon has been a bit of a fan favorite, as many players have fond memories of this Pokemon from the original games, considering that it was one of the most powerful fighting types and water types in the original games. A lot of players were hoping that this Pokemon would eventually get an upgrade. Well, once we get Poliwag Community Day, it is definitely going to be upgraded. In order to best understand this, let's go over the details for this Pokemon. Poliwrath has a unique type combination of water and fighting. This gives it a weakness against electric types, fairy types, flying types, grass types, and psychic types. It's also going to be resistant against bug types, dark types, fire types, ice types, rock types, steel types, and water types. It's going to be weather boosted by rainy weather and cloudy weather. Now, it does come with a plethora of fast moves and charge moves. We'll get into that a little bit later. But first, let's talk about its base stats. It has a base attack stat of 182, a base defense stat of 184, and a base stamina stat of 207. Now, in terms of its rank 1 IVs for the various leagues, obviously you will want a 100% for the Master League. But I highly suggest you never use this Pokemon for the Master League, considering that its max combat points are going to be extremely low. But in terms of the Great League and Ultra League, it is actually going to be pretty relevant. Now for the Great League, you will want one that is 0 attack, 15 defense, and 14 stamina. This is going to give you the rank 1 IVs for this league, and I do think it's going to make somewhat of an impact in this league once it receives its Community Day move. Now in terms of the rank 1 IVs for the Ultra League, you will want one that is 0 attack, 15 defense, and 13 health. Now, this is probably the one league where Poliwrath is going to shine the most. That is of course because it doesn't have a lot of competition in terms of fighting types, and I do think that it is going to be pretty relevant. It has really well-rounded stats, and it has very few counters in that league. Of course, you will want to watch out for Pokemon like Dragonite and Togekiss, but as long as you have your bases covered, Poliwrath is going to do really well. Now, one of the key characteristics about Poliwrath is of course its mass plethora of fast attacks and charge attacks. The Community Day move that Poliwrath is going to get is of course going to be Counter. If you have used Machamp in the past, you would know just how powerful this one fast attack is. On top of generating a lot of energy, it also deals a good amount of damage. So when it comes to all of the fast attacks, this one is going to be the one you will want to use. But it also has plenty of other options as well. This includes Bubble, Mud Shot, and Rock Smash. Now out of these three fast attacks, I would suggest Mud Shot as a good alternative to Counter. Even though it doesn't benefit from a same type attack bonus, it still generates a ton of energy. So you will be able to spam out your charge attacks a lot more frequently, and that could make Poliwrath a really good Pokemon. Speaking of which, let's go over all of the various charge attacks that Poliwrath can come with. These include Dynamic Punch and Ice Punch. Both of these are usually the most recommended for this Pokemon, considering the high amount of damage that both of them can deal for the least amount of energy. Now in terms of other options that Poliwrath can come with, they include Power Up Punch, Hydro Pump, Scald, and Submission. Of course, Submission is a legacy move, so you will need an Elite Charge TM in order to get that move. But you don't have to worry about it because it's not necessarily going to be good compared to the other moves in its arsenal. Now, what's interesting about Poliwrath is that you could do really well with any combination of these moves. When it comes to the Go Battle League, you could pretty much tailor-make Poliwrath to whatever your team needs. I highly suggest going with Dynamic Punch and Ice Punch, but you could also run with Power Up Punch for some shield baiting and some other cheese strategies. Hydro Pump is also a really hard-hitting nuke with Poliwrath, considering that it does benefit from a same type attack bonus. So you have a lot of options here, and you really can't go wrong. So yeah, overall, Poliwrath is a PvP machine, but you should also consider using it for various PvE game modes. Like for example, Team Go Rocket Leader battles, Poliwrath is actually a bit of a secret weapon. You could use this Pokemon to deal with a plethora of different difficult encounters when it comes to the Team Go Rocket Leaders, and that is actually pretty big considering how difficult these battles can get. But yeah, Poliwrath is mainly going to shine in the Go Battle League. In particular, I would suggest using it in either the Great League or the Ultra League. I've had a lot of success with Poliwrath in the past in either of these leagues, so if you want a good Pokemon that has very few counters and is something that's going to be difficult for your opponents to deal with, then I highly suggest you go with Poliwrath. Make sure you utilize the Community Day bonuses in order to get yourself a good one, because this will be a great opportunity for you to get rank 1 IVs or something really close. Again, you won't be using this Pokemon much when it comes to raid battles in the Master League, so don't feel the pressure to get yourself a 100% IV. Alright, and there you have it. This was my deep dive into Poliwrath after this Community Day. Now, of course, we still do not know how exactly it's going to fare in the Go Battle League, but I do predict that it is going to be extremely relevant. And of course, when it comes to raid battles, there's a lot of fighting types that is always going to be a lot better than a Pokemon like Poliwrath, but I still think this Pokemon can hold its own. So if you do not have a lot of good fighting types, like for example Terrakion with Sacred Sword, then you can still run with maxed out Poliwraths in order to deal a lot of fighting type damage. And yeah, with that said, that's going to be it for this video. Leave your thoughts regarding this Pokemon down below. Was there a particular detail regarding this Pokemon that I completely missed? Definitely make sure you say so in the comments, and let's have a great discussion. And if you ended up enjoying this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, big or small, then do consider checking out the links in the description below. For all my patrons, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way, like with remote raids, then do consider becoming a patron on my Patreon. And yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.